Okay, we're going to take a look at the classic Beatles track Yesterday, and for maximum authenticity I've chosen to tune the guitar in exactly the same manner as it was on the original recording, which is basically tuning all of the strings down by a whole tone. Now this won't affect the chord fingerings that you use in any way, just purely the pitch. So when I play a G chord, the pitch is in fact an F chord, but you can quite easily just leave the guitar in regular tuning and just use regular, regular fingerings at regular concert pitch. It's entirely up to you whether you feel comfortable singing in G or whether you want to play along with the original recording. Here are the notes of the open strings, or the tuning notes, should I say. There's a D, G, C, F, A, and D. So there's what we would hold as an E chord, but it's in fact a D chord. That brings me to the next point. As I'm calling out these chords, I'm going to be calling out the names of the chords that we see. So I'll be holding a G, I'm going to call it a G, not an F. So you're going to be, when I tell you a chord name, look at it as the fingering that you're seeing, not the pitch that you're hearing. Okay, let's start off with the introduction and the first verse. 2, 3, 4. Something quite important about the performance of this track is to make sure that you're getting more of a fleshy tone out of the fingers rather than if you have longer nails. You want it to be quite a gentle, laid-back sound, not very harsh and abrasive. I haven't got long nails at all. In fact, I've got a rather embarrassing broken nail at the moment, which was in fact a gig injury. I pulled that off whilst I was playing electric guitar. But when you're playing this, make sure that your thumb is assigned to the bottom 3 strings and your first, second and third fingers are assigned to the top 3 strings. So have a look at the More Than Words lesson on this DVD and you'll see more of the same, where you're actually grabbing at the chords to sound all of the notes at once. Okay, we start off with the G chord, then we play the root note and then the top 3 strings. So 1 and 2 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4, and vocals enter here. Finish off on the last and with an open E note, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. We now play an F sharp minor. I kind of cheat when I play that. Play it like that. You could, or I just find I have more control if I play it with just a small portion of my finger barring the top strings and either a second finger or my thumb, depending on how I get to it, playing the root note. So it's actually an F sharp minor, so 2nd fret bottom E, top 3 strings, then a B 7th, 1st fret D, 2nd fret A, 2nd fret G, open B and 2nd fret top E. Now we have an E minor, just play the 2nd fret D and the open top 3 strings. The E note again, top 3 strings, open D, top 3 strings, C major 7th, which is just a regular open position C chord, but don't place the first finger down, so you've got the open top 3 strings. So play the A string. Now a D 7th chord, which is just, I always look at that as being a mirror image of a D chord, it's just reversed. So 1st fret B, 2nd fret A, and 2nd fret top E, the open D. Now we play a G sus2 chord. Now it's quite a quick change, so what I do is I play the top E with my little finger, the bottom E with my 2nd finger. My 1st finger plays the 1st fret of the B string. I play the root, and then the sus, and then I add my 3rd finger onto the 3rd fret of the B string. Then we play that one more time, the G chord that is. Then we play the 2nd fret E, and then the open G and B. So it's kind of it's like a little rundown to the E minor chord. So. Okay, then we're into E minor, A major, C major, and now G major. Okay, so slowly, the whole of the verse. 3 and 4 and... Should point out, I just missed a little run there that I picked up when I was playing the little playthrough there. Play the E minor, the A, and then we play a B note on the last and, so 3 and 4 and then into the C. So that's a B note on the 2nd fret of the A. So okay, just leads you nicely from the A chord up into the C chord. Okay, let's take a look at our 2nd verse now. Pretty much the same, but a couple of little chord variations. So I'll play through and then we'll just look at those points. Here we go. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this verse, pretty much the same as before, just a couple of little chord variations. Kick off with the G. Here's the first variation, which is the F sharp minor 7th. Really nice voicing. Again, very similar chord fingering to the previous F sharp, except we're just keeping an open top E. Then B7, E minor, C major 7th, to a D 7th, now the G sus, now this A chord is actually an A 7th, and the way we play that is to just, I bar across the top 3 strings and have my 2nd finger on the 3rd fret top E. Then we have C, and then the G to finish off. Okay, here's the middle 8, so I'll play through for you and then we'll take a look. 2, 3, 4. Okay, starts off with an F sharp minor, but it's got an added 4th. It's just basically enabling you to just almost keep those fingers on and be going between the F sharp and the B 7th. There's just a few sort of constant tones that ring between the 2 chords. So we're actually playing just the 2nd fret G in the open B and the 2nd fret bottom E. Now the B 7th. Now we play the 2nd fret D string and the open E. Now we play the open D and the 2nd fret at the top E. Now we play the 3rd fret A and the 3rd fret top E. Drop that down a semitone to 2. And then we play open E. So now an A minor, D 7th, G. Now we've got our F sharp minor 7th with the added 4. This time we're playing the open E in the top as well as the open B. I'm being really picky here in terms of the note choice. It's entirely up to you, you know, whether you play the same every time or do these little variations. B 7th, the little run again. Now we have an A minor 6th, which is basically a D 7th chord but with an A in the roots. Now we play the D 7th, just by simply playing the D root, and then we play the G note. Okay, then we're into our third verse, so I'll just play that through for you so you can practice along. 3, 4. Pretty much the same as we've seen already, so no need for us to dissect that. Let's move into the next middle 8 section, and a pretty tricky little figure, little ascending figure in this, so I'll play it for you, then we'll break it down. Here we go. 3, 4. Okay, pretty much the same idea, except a couple of extra chords and that rather awkward run that I can never seem to get in my head at all for some reason. The other ones are quite straightforward, just a lot of shifting around. Starts off with our F sharp minor with the open top E's, the F sharp minor 7th, B 7th. Play the 2nd fret E and the 3rd fret E, open D, sorry, 2nd fret D, sorry, and the 3rd fret at the top E. Then the open D and the 5th fret top E. And then we play the, what's that, the 8th fret of the bottom E and the 7th fret of the top E. It's really quite awkward, but when you put it together, it sounds really nice. And then we play that next figure, which is playing the 7th fret of the bottom E and play the 10th fret of the B to the 8th fret. We then play the A minor 6th, D 7th, back to G, same again. Now A minor 6th, and then we've got a funny little D7. Hasn't got a 3rd in it, so we're just playing the 5th fret of the G and the 3rd fret of the B string. And then we have just the single G note to finish off. Okay, now we have our final verse and our little outro, so I'm going to play through that right up to the end, and then we'll just take a look at the outro for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we basically play one more verse, and then to finish off, we simply play the top part of the G chord. So when we come out of our... we then just keep that little figure on the top strings playing, then play an A 7th, which is just the 2nd fret G and B and 3rd fret top E. And then we have our G sus chord there, which is open G, 1st fret B, 3rd fret top E, and then we play the whole chord Well, we play the bottom E and the top 3 strings, and as we play that, we hammer onto the 3rd fret B, like so. So quite a straightforward tune. I think that using the auto-tuning adds a different slant to it, or the drop tuning, should I say, even though, you know, the fingerings are exactly the same. It just adds a nice kind of warm, rich sound. And just, as I said before, just try to aim to get a nice kind of fleshy tone out of your fingers instead of the harshness of your fingernails. And just keep it nice and mellow and nice and relaxed. And that concludes Yesterday.